Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning or good day, depending on where you're from. Welcome back to another live stream. How's everybody doing today? Let's see who we have here today. Good morning, Funded Shubham. Good morning, Sonic. Good morning, Chill Wave. Good morning, Juna. Good morning, Mock. Good morning, HMH. Good morning, Triss. Good morning, Jorit. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Glad you could join again. Bear Trader, good morning. Mr. Reckless, how are you doing today? Legend Rich, how are you doing today? Bob, good morning. Mitt, good morning. Weapon, good morning. Mercy, good morning. Island Dreams, good morning. Victor, good morning. Nate, good morning. Bear Trader, good morning. Scrolling, good morning. How did everybody's weekend go? Very excited to get back on here with everybody. Another week, another opportunity to gain more conviction in our business. Good afternoon to King David. Hope your weekend went well. Hope your day's going well. Hope everybody's ready to get back to work. Nice couple days off there with the weekend, but time to focus up again. Volume is fixed and perfect. Let's go. See, we're starting the week off with a W already. Thank you very much, Island Dreams. I appreciate the update. Had a great weekend. Touched some grass. Very good. Glad to hear it. The weekends definitely need to be used for, resetting the mind, resetting the battery, doing something good for the soul, spending some time with family. That way, when we show up, we're ready to go Monday morning. That way, we're in the right headspace, we got the energy, and we're ready to carry out our business throughout the week. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nicolas, how are you doing today? Hope your weekend went well. Just going to give some time for people to join first, and then we'll get into some conversations. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Hopefully everybody is ready to go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning or good day, depending on where you're from. Hopefully everybody had a nice weekend. Good morning, Perios. Hope your day is going well. Weekend went good. Thanks, Ash. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I had a nice, relaxing weekend. We actually broke a record this weekend. We had the largest snowfall that we've ever had in the past 38 years. I literally moved down south to get to the warmth, to get away from the snow, and somehow we break a record this week. So I actually stayed inside for the majority of the weekend because I don't want the snow. Plain and simple. But it was a very relaxing weekend. Unfortunately, that is Mother Nature right there. Summer Z, how are you doing today? Good morning. Hope your weekend went well. Anwar, good morning. Haken, good morning. Guys, if I'm ever saying anybody's name wrong, please do correct me. There's so many people that come in and out. I see so many names at this point that sometimes I see new names. We've been frozen for 2 weeks. Ooh, man. Yeah, I literally moved down south so I didn't have to deal with that stuff. I don't want to be shoveling. I don't want to be slipping and falling on ice. I don't want, I don't want to walk outside and be uncomfortable because it's so cold that it's unbearable. But unfortunately, we ended up getting snow, the largest amount in 38 years. So I guess nothing's off the table. Doing good over here. How are you? I'm doing good. I am ready to go. Had a nice relaxing weekend. Thank you for asking. I hope your weekend went well. I hope your day's going well. And I hope we are ready to focus up and crush another week. Hopefully everybody had a nice weekend, got a chance to reset and recharge and get prepared for the week ahead. And with the week ahead, that is where I'll say today's live stream is going to start with a weekly outlook. We need to make sure that we get through all of our assets and make sure we set some game plans and analyze a higher time frame order flow. That way we can take a look at what to expect throughout the week. We'll make sure to get over on the economic calendar along with the giveaway. So you guys made yourself a deal. Let's get over here. Ready? All right. Let's see. It should be coming up here any minute now. All right. Last week, we made a deal. Deal was very simple. Get this to 100 retweets, get this to 200 likes, and we smashed that. So we completed the deal, and we now have a new giveaway today. So I'm going to continue to keep doing as many giveaways as I can. The amount of people that I've helped get new accounts is more than I can count at this point. I literally just had somebody on an Instagram giveaway tell me that they passed the giveaway account, and now they're looking at working towards their first payout. This is the exact reason why I do that. Giving people the opportunity at creating this source of income through these giveaways. So we completed our deal, and if you haven't seen it yet, here you go. Right, I'm standing on my deals. Here's the giveaway. We have 3 50K signature accounts to give away from E8. All right. All you got to do is complete these 3 things right here. Must be following me and the E8 account. Must like, tag 3 friends, retweet this post, and we'll announce the winners at the end of the week. Very simple stuff. All right. So deal has been completed. There's the giveaway. All you got to do is go in there, complete those 3 things, and then we'll announce the winners on Friday. This is not the last. This is not the first, and we plan on doing a lot more. So whether you've won a giveaway or not, there's going to be many more opportunities. You have to understand that these are randomly generated winners. We use a thing called the X Picker. It's just a random website. It's a random name generator where you just put the link of this giveaway into the random name generator. And then you put the criteria into the generator and it picks from one of the people that completed that criteria. Just want to make sure everybody understands that it is random, right? I don't sit here and pick people. Everybody has a fair chance. If you complete the criteria, your name gets thrown into the pot and then it randomly generates 3 names. All right. So we'll do those giveaways on Friday. On top of that, we have some plans on doing some other giveaways. I'm not going to go over those now, but I'll make sure to complete the announcements when they occur. But stay up to date because I plan on doing this stuff every week. Essentially, that's what it boils down to. Okay? So here's the link. If you want to join, hop over there on the Twitter page and hop into that giveaway. That's the first thing. Second thing, let's get over to the economic calendar. Let's make sure that we're aware of all of the important times of the week. Let's make sure that we know what is coming for the week ahead. So the top over here. Let's get to the weekly calendar. And let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. All right. Monday, 10 a.m. So today, we need to be aware of 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have PMI coming up. Okay, so we purposely get over to the economic calendar to understand the red folders. The red folders are our volatility injections. We do not analyze the news, right? I don't sit here and say, oh, that was good news, price should go up. Oh, that was bad news, price should go down. What I do is I look at news as volatility drivers, right? I expect there to be volatility coming into the market at this time. That's the only way that I analyze news. Okay. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, we got jolts. So we got red folders every single day this week. Let's make sure that we're up to date and that we know that these high impact drivers are going to occur at these times. Okay. 8:15 and 10 a.m. on Wednesday. You have to understand that ADP non-farm payroll is not the same as the normal non-farm payroll. One is for the private sector. One is for the public sector. The Friday's non-farm payroll is the higher volatile time. Okay, so I'm not as concerned on Wednesday as I am on Friday, is what I'm saying. CPI is the most volatile news event we have, and then non-farm payroll is the second most volatile news driver we have. And when I say NFP, I'm referring to this one, not ADP. All right, so 10 a.m., 8:15 a.m. on Wednesday. Then we have 8:30 a.m. on Thursday for unemployment claims. And Friday, 8:30 a.m. is the high impact driver of NFP, and 10 a.m. on Friday as well. Now, we've had this conversation before, and we're going to have it again. There are a lot of individuals in here and in the community that try to expedite their evals. When I say that, I'm referring to leveraging news events. There are a lot of people that try to pass their eval within one trade by trading the news, right? Some people will refer to it as one shot, one kill, right? They go max leverage on an eval 10 seconds before the release of non-farm payroll in hopes of taking advantage of the volatility and passing the eval within one trade. There are many things that need to be said about that, and listen clearly. That is only for individuals that have a proven track record that they are capable of receiving payouts. They have a strategy that they have discipline and consistency in. They are capable and have proven their trading abilities. Additionally, they are willing to accept the risk. Okay? There is no guarantee. Okay? This is a 50-50 shot. You're literally just flipping a coin and hoping it lands on heads, right? This is a complete gamble trying to expedite your eval by leveraging the news event. So if you don't understand that and the price of your eval is too much risk for you, then do not do that. The only people that should be doing that are the people that are capable of accepting the risk. Right? So whatever eval you use, that dollar amount, you have to know that you've already burned it. It's gone. You're not getting it back. And if you're okay with that, then sure, think about doing the one shot, one kill. Think about expediting your eval. That's fine. But what I'm saying is if you're not capable of taking that money and burning it, don't do it. Because if you can't accept the risk, then it's going to mess up your mental. Okay? So that is only for people that have proven track records for trading and can fully accept the risk of the amount of the eval that they're about to leverage. Okay? If you do not fall into that category, do not try to expedite your eval. Plain and simple. Okay? Now, we've had many people do this one shot, one kill, this leveraging of the news event. Yes, it has worked. Yes, it has also failed. Okay? You have to understand that there is no holy grail. There is no secret sauce. Okay? Things work, things fail. There's never a guarantee. There is never a certainty. So if you're going into it thinking, oh, this is my chance to finally pass the eval, well, please understand you have the same chance of failing. It is literally a coin flip. It is 50-50. Okay? It fails just as much as it works. Okay? That is why you have to accept the risk, because it is very possible that you go and lose that $100 from the eval because it has failed just as much as it has worked. It is a possibility. People have passed their accounts. Just know the randomness. That's why I'm making sure that I get, all of the information out on the table and be very transparent about it so that you as an independent risk manager, you as a business owner can make all of your own decisions on your own while having all of the information. Instead of blindly making decisions, you can at least know the risk. And if that's something that you're willing to risk, then you at least understand it versus being impulsive about it and going into it blind. Okay? Last thing that I have to say about the one shot, one kill, and then we'll move on. Please make sure that you understand your eval, right? If you have consistency rules within your eval, well, you're not going to be passing the account in one trade, right? If you have an eval that has a 50% consistency rule, then you have to take at least 2 trades because you cannot pass within one trade. Okay? You should only use accounts that have no consistency rule. You can pass in one day. Lastly, I swear we'll move on, but I'm making sure that we get all of the information out. You also need to know the activation fees, right? If your account has activation fees, you have to be aware of that. In addition, trade copiers. Trade copiers do not work very well during this time. You're talking about some of the most volatile times that the market sees. So you have to expect the trade copier to have issues during this time. Very simply put, just do one account at a time then. Right? If you know systems aren't going to work properly during higher volatile times, just be a risk manager and decide to do one account at a time. Okay? So, that is the whole one shot, one kill idea. Make sure that you can fully accept the risk or choose to just watch. All right? Hey, good morning, Aulis. Hope your day is going well. Hope you had a nice weekend. Give me a second here. Just going to move to the sitting position and then also take a sip of coffee, and then we're going to get into some information. All right. Hey, good morning, Saju. Hope your day is going well. Amir, hope your day is going well. Ooh, some beach time in January. Very nice. That sounds like a good weekend. Elaine, good morning. Hope your day is going well. All right. We were able to get over the economic calendar. Now, let's get over to our assets. Let's get a weekly outlook completed. That way, we can update the trading desk within the Discord. Ash, I want to ask you. Let's see. What is the question here? I want to ask you. Easy thinks my broker offer only NASDAQ Mini, but my setup is NASDAQ Micro. Has it different if I enter on US 100? I don't know if I exactly understand the question there. Are you asking if your broker offers micros versus minis? Is that what the question is? You should be able to. What is the broker's website? You should be able to just go on the broker's website and look at all their assets, right? They should have all of their assets listed on their page. That way you can see whether they have micros or minis. Take a look at the broker's website. I don't know what broker you're using. Hop on their website, see if they allow micros and minis. All right, let's hop over here to our assets. Let's start to get some weekly outlooks completed. Let's take a look. All right, there we go. How did the position from Friday play out? That was an L. We took a loss on Friday. That position did a whole lot of nothing. It just consolidated for the entire morning. Then during lunchtime, finally head towards the stop loss. That was a loss there on Friday. I updated that across all the social medias. You could have seen it on the Twitter post, it's still there on Twitter. You could have seen it on this Instagram story as well. Hey, good afternoon, Horn. Hope your day is going well. New week, new opportunity. All right, let's start to take a look. I'm going to finish on ES and NQ because I trade ES and NQ. So I would like to do the other assets first. That way we can focus on ES and NQ heading into New York Open. Start over here on Euro. And what a beautiful move here on Euro. We left the bias here from last week. And that bias is now being completed. So, if you were here at the end of the week, you would have heard me say this bias right here that's currently on the screen. We were talking about Euro moving external to internal. You've received that move, right? Now we've completed the target, and they might even give us a second target because there's another FEG here to fill, and it looks like it's reaching for it now. So, If anybody were to take advantage of that bearish bias, now you're hitting targets here on Euro. Very good job analyzing the sweep of the highs. Very good job of analyzing the move back into the range. And now you get a result from it. So let me update the trading desk. This is also going to be a moment where I'm completing my weekly outlooks and my top-down analysis for all the assets. So you have to be patient with me because I need to take screenshots and put it in the Discord as well. So let me go and do that real quick. We were looking for an external to internal move, and now we've completed that. So I need to make sure everybody is aware that the target's being hit. Let's see, 226 bias daily chart. Bearish bias was correct. ERL to IRL move completed. So this is going to end up being the same thing for the dollar as well then, right? We were, yep. Beautiful job, chat. Beautiful job. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Go ahead and fact check me. If you really need to, like, just go watch, you know, Friday's live stream or Wednesday's live stream. You know, this is the information we're pointing to. There's logic to why we point to these things. And now that you're watching it in real time and getting results from it, you can see the reason why I say these things. For example, specifically on Friday, we had talked about the dollar sweeping an external location. Then the next part of the conversation was that we did not displace through the external location. In fact, they invalidated the bearish FEG here, showing that we were moving external to internal. And now you got that move. So we explained the things that helped us get to this bias. We pointed to the bias, and now we got a result to it. So let me update the trading desk on this one as well. Bullish bias was correct. ERL to IRL completed. So feel free to fact check me on any of these. Just watch any of the prior live streams. Let me update this. ERL to IRL completed. Very good. Which prop firm would you suggest stacking accounts with a copy trader? Apex Alpha aren't available in South Africa. Have you tried My Funded Futures yet? Have you tried My Funded Futures yet? Ash, I keep hearing this thing. They say 95% of traders fail. What do you think is the reason? Is it luck? Is it lack of technical skills? Or is it lack of mental and emotional control? Yes, the failure rate is astronomical. The amount of people that fail in this business is more than the amount of people that succeed. It is a very low successful rate, right? There's I would say 1 to 5% of people actually make it to a payout. It is a very low percentage of people that actually make it to payouts. In my opinion, I think that the failure rate is so large because people aren't capable of controlling their mind and controlling their emotions. People get very deterred by money. A financial situation is going to induce a lot of different emotions. Those emotions are usually the thing that makes you not capable of trading, right? The need for more is something that is going to cause over trading. Fear, right? Fear of watching too large of a number fluctuate in your P&L. That's going to cause you to be too scared to execute, right? If you're too fearful, you might not ever click the button, right? Greed. Greed is another horrible feeling, right? You get into a winning trade, but you decide not to take the winning trade because you're reaching for more, right? You're plus 500, but you're sitting there saying, oh, I want 1,000 today. And then right after that, it goes and hits your stop loss, right? Impulsiveness is another horrible one. If you lack discipline, if you lack patience, then you're gonna see price move and you're gonna instantly click buttons because you're so impulsive. You have no impatience. You have no patience. Sorry, let me fix that. All right, so in my opinion, this business is truly 80% mental and 20% chart. I personally think that it's normally the individual. It's not the technical system they're using. Part of it is their education, but it's normally the human characteristics, the human traits, the need for more, the fear, the greed, the impulsiveness, the lack of patience. Those are the things that usually ruin accounts. So I think it's 80% mental. I think it's 20% chart. And, you know, we're humans here. So it makes sense. Like that is how we're raised, right? It is human nature. These are normal feelings and emotions, but that is the classic saying of work smarter, not harder, right? This is not like a you need to click more buttons to make more money type of business. This is a you need to be stronger mentally. You need to make the right decision on a day-to-day basis. You don't need strength to do this, right? You don't need some kind of stamina to make sure that you continue to keep working. This is a mental fortitude thing. So I personally think that it is the mental aspect. I think it's the inability to control your emotions, the inability to control your thoughts and your actions. That's usually what ruins people's business. It's normal though, that just hear me clearly, like we are all human beings here. I deal with these things too. That is the name of the game. That's what day trading is. If you can control that monster, then you have a chance. If you can't, you're probably going to keep blowing accounts because you're super impulsive. What are your thoughts on CFD challenges as someone who is only has access to CFD? If that's the only option that you have, then so be it. I personally choose not to do CFD because I do not like the spreads. I do not like the props. No, thank you. That's just not for me. I'm sorry that you don't have futures available to you, but you know, like the slippage in CFD space is horrible, right? The accuracy in futures is amazing. Additionally, I'm from the US, so there is benefits to trading futures there is benefits to, why can't I speak today? There's tax benefits to trading futures. Now you have to understand that's for cash accounts, right? That's prop firms. When you make money at prop firms, you get sent a 1099, right? You're an independent contractor. It's not short-term capital gains. It's independent contractor work. If you're in a cash account, then it's short-term capital gains, and that's where trading futures has a tax benefit compared to CFDs. Hey, good morning, Tyree. Hope your day is going well. How did you pay tax after a payout? They send you the payout. So let's use a random number, right? If you make $1,000, they send you $1,000, right? After the split, whether it's a 90-10 or an 80-20, you get your portion of the payout. They do not take taxes out of that payout. Okay, so then when the money gets transferred into your bank account and you actually receive that money, do not go and spend all of it because you will owe taxes on it, right? Let's say you make $1,000, you withdraw it to your bank account. You then use $1,000. You go on a vacation and you spend all $1,000. Well, at the end of the year, you're still going to owe money on that. So you will have to pay for the taxes that needs to come out of that. Okay, so very simple. Just don't use the entire payout. Gaetano, what's up? How's everything going? Good morning. Hope your weekend went well. Hope you're ready to get a week of work in. Chat, I need to get some more coffee in me. What is going on? I can't talk today. What is happening here? Let me get some more coffee. U.S. tax is tough? Yeah. I don't think I've ever came across a human being that says that they enjoy tax time. Really cold over in Italy? Yeah, it's actually really cold where I am too, so I guess the world is just getting a cold front. Italy was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my life. I need to go back to Italy at some point in time. I made it to Rome and the Amalfi Coast. I think that was in 2024. Wow. I mean, just astonishing. I would really, really like to go back to the Amalfi Coast, or I want to go to the most northern part of Italy, like go do like a hike in the Swiss Alps where we start in Italy and then end up in Switzerland. That would be amazing. All right, so we got through the dollar, we got through euro. Sorry for going back and forth here. Some questions are coming across chat, so I'm getting a little deterred on the weekly outlooks. But here we go. Let's keep moving forward. When you come to Ethiopia, I want to meet you. I've met many people. We had a trader meetup in London. That was the last trip I took, was to London, and we actually did a trader meetup. So I would love to do more trader meetups. I've never been to Ethiopia, but where would be a place to go to over there? All right. Oil. Looks like this question was already answered from last week's outlook, right? So we finished off Friday looking to see if we were going to displace through the swing high or not, right? Hence the question that was right there on my chart saying that, right, this would be the target if we got rejected. So once again, that example of the external to internal move being completed, right? We got rejected. Notice the seller's wicks at the swing high. Notice that there's no FEG at this location either. So the internal to external, excuse me. Why can't I talk today, chat? What is going on? The external to internal move has already been completed. All right, so the move from the swing high down to the FEG, that's what we're pointing to here, saying that bearish move has been completed. So let me update that. Let's get this over here to oil. All right. Let me let the Discord know that we're currently live as well. All right. All right. Let's take a look. Would love to visit Ethiopia too. Yeah, that would be amazing. I've not made it to anywhere in Africa yet. I was told Cape Town is another good one to go to. So we've completed euro, right? Euro, the external to internal move has been completed. Same thing goes for the dollar. The dollar, the external move to internal has been completed. There we go. External to internal has been completed. Oil, same thing. External to internal has been completed. Let's look at ES and NQ. So ES and NQ, these are the two things that I'm looking at. Is clearly this area has been such an important area. Let's just dive into this area a little bit. I'm not creating a bias. I'm just pointing to some things to help you understand that statement that I just made. Here's a new week opening gap, right? A new week opening gap. The close of Friday to the open of Sunday. One new week opening gap. Ready? Keep that in mind. Here's another new week opening gap. Right here, the close of Friday to the open of Sunday. Okay. Let's continue this idea here. We just pointed out two different new week opening gaps. Right? And what do you know? Another new week opening gap. All right. What's going on with this area? Something's clearly happening here. 3 new week opening gaps in the same exact location. 3 different new week opening gaps. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Clearly, this is some kind of important area. I don't think that we've gotten our answer for this area yet because of the amount of times that we've retested it, the amount of times that we've gotten supported from it. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? When we first received it, we got rejected by it heavily. After getting rejected by it, we then claimed it immediately thereafter. When we went to claim it, we created another bullish one here. Then, after claiming it, we come back and retest it, and then create a bearish one going lower. In my opinion, they have not made up their mind yet. We've made one new week gap going lower. We've made one new week gap going higher. Then we made another new week opening gap going lower, all at the same area, right? So, like, what is happening here? Like, it is clearly this is an important area, right? And clearly, we have not determined whether the bulls or bears have claimed this area. For both ES and NQ. Very interesting, to say the least. Very interesting. And, you know, I have to say, if you've survived through all of this, if you're still here, if you haven't blown up accounts and completely failed and quit at this point, give yourself a pat in the back. Give yourself a pat in the back, seriously, because forget about just the past week, but look at this. Like, we've just been chopping sideways since November. Are you kidding me? If you've survived from November until now, please give yourself a pat on the back. There is nothing easy about this. There's no direction, and the only thing that I can say is that it's consolidating. It has not chose its mind. It's just going sideways. And that's not easy to trade. Consolidation is not easy. Okay, so, you know, how do you create a clear bias here is where I'm going with this. It's just going sideways. We're consolidating. It hasn't picked its mind in which direction we want to go to. I'm for today. Now I'm going to shift the conversation. I just wanted to point to all the new week opening gaps and show how tough this has been. But for today, specifically today, this is going to be my answer right here. right? We created the new week opening gap. During the first attempt, we got rejected from it, and now we're about to retest it again. Right? So my question here for today is going to be, what happens at this new week opening gap? Are we going to get rejected by it? Or can we claim it and go higher? Do we get one of these? Right? We go through it, close a candle above it, retest the initial balance, and then go higher? Or during the retest, do we find bearish SMT and we get rejected from this area and then head lower? So what I'm trying to say here is I'm going to be objective to the new week opening gap, and I'm going to analyze the type of price reaction that occurs there. That's what I have for today. I want to see what happens at this new week opening gap, and that is going to help me determine my bias for the day. And the way that I'm going to do that is by being objective to the information. Instead of being biased, instead of being influenced by a certain opinion, I'm going to read price for what it's giving us and efficiently act upon it. Okay, so do you have any questions about that? Is that clear enough in terms of a bias? I want to see what type of price reaction occurs here. That's what's going to help me execute this morning. All right, so I'll even write that out. This is what I'm moving forward with for today. We could even put the arrows on here as well so that people understand. I'm going to have to do that backwards. All right, there we go. Let's get this over into the Discord. And that's going to be the same thing for NQ as well. Two correlated pairs should be moving the same at the same time. Need to see the type of price action. Excuse me. Need to see the type of price reaction that occurs at the new week opening gap. Make sure I get that over into the Discords. Oh, all right. And I don't really need to explain that here on NQ. It is the same exact analysis, so I'm just going to draw it out real quick. Excuse me. I don't know why it's not letting me go to the open of the candle. There we go. Same exact thing here on NQ. Let me get a screenshot of that over into the Discord. Okay. All right. All right. Now that we got our analysis completed, that is what we'll be looking for here this morning. All right. All right, chat, do me a favor. If you're finding any value from these live streams, if you're finding any value from the giveaways, do me a favor, like the video, sub to the channel. We're going to continue to keep going live throughout 2026. I am going to bring this up again because more people have entered. If you haven't already, last week we made a deal for a new giveaway. I told you all that I was going to run a new giveaway here on Monday. Now it's Monday, and here's your giveaway. Hop over to the Twitter account, complete this entry criteria. You can hop into this giveaway as well. All right, we'll announce those winners at the end of the week. So for anybody that is here throughout the week, do me a favor, remind me to run the X picker, the random name generator for this giveaway on Friday's live stream. All right. Isn't the first, isn't the last. We will be doing this a lot more often. So we'll most likely do a giveaway next week as well. Don't tell anybody. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but we're going to do another one. So I plan on doing as many as I can, as often as I can. All right. Now that I got some analysis completed, now that we went over the giveaway, now that we went over the economic calendar, I'm going to hop over to chat. If you have any questions about that analysis, feel free to throw it in chat. If you have any questions about anything to do trading related, throw it in the chat. We got about 30 minutes here before New York Open, so we're going to go in looking for some trades at New York Open. We'll see what happens with that. But until then, let's do a little Q&A heading into New York Open. If you have any type of questions, feel free to throw it in chat. A market maker friend calls this a grinder. Yeah, this is a grinder, without a doubt, right here. Yeah, they are, whoever that market maker is, he's grinding my patience away is what he's grinding currently. Because the amount of patience that this takes right here is it's a lifelong skill that you'll be able to keep forever, is what I have to say about that. They are just chopping it up, taking out both sides of the market. Man, that's a rough one. Nice to hear you, Ash. Thanks for joining, Charles. Just above break even over the last 3 months. That is a step in the right direction. Okay? If you've made it there, that is progress. And the next level after that is, you know, passing evals, getting into a funded account. Or if you're already in the funded account and you're break even, that means you're one step away from payout. So take every opportunity as a learning experience. Continue to keep working and learning, and you will be there very soon. This is quite beautiful right here. It's unfortunate that I don't participate in London, but take a look at how clean this is right here. Very, very clean London low here. Swing low, swing high, new low, new high. That makes that a breaker, and the breaker has an FVG right in here. No wonder why they're heading higher so far. It looks like this right here. This is what it looks like currently. That is very clean. See if there's any SMT at those lows. No, but this is clean too, right? Very clean swing points, very decisive displacement. Nice job so far. Could you take a look at gold as well? Yeah, let's take a look. Gold had quite the dump, huh? Remember when I pointed to this FEG? Saying that we should let it take a breather? On Friday, I quite literally said that the bulls are taking a halftime. That they need to take a breather. And I pointed to this FEG down here. And look at where we are. So, what a move. This is the type of displacement that... Oh, wrong chart. Hold on. I don't know why I clicked on ES. I wanted to go to silver. This is the type of displacement that, you know, I don't want to call the top, but we just took out over a week's worth of price action with a displacement. And is this SMT up here? What is this? The 26th? The 26th to the 29th? Why do I keep going to NQ and ES? It is just ingrained into my muscles. What did I say? The 26th to the 29th? Yeah. Wow. Hold on. They both swept. Never mind. 26th. Don't go to ES. Go to silver this time. 26th to the 29th. All right. Never mind. There's no SMT there. But what a displacement. Wow. Wow. All right, well, so the first thing I have to say about this is top back over to gold. You were questioning gold. So that was quite the move. All right, the bears finally stepped in. They took control from the bulls, and now I'd be questioning whether that is going to remain intact or not. Looks like you got a new week opening gap there, right here. Right, we closed Friday right here. We opened Sunday right here. I'd be curious to know if they're going to use this as resistance like they did the first time. Notice how I just keep pointing to imbalances. I think this is important. No matter how long you've been working with me, it's essentially the same process every single time. Looking at the most recent information, looking at swing highs, swing lows, and imbalances, right? As of right now, I would be looking at the new week opening gap, seeing if that's going to act as resistance again. I want to see if there was SMT there. What is that? That's the Friday. Let's go back. Yeah, there was, right? If you look at this right here. 1445, 1445, right? So you're talking about bearish SMT that occurred at the new week opening gap, showing that this area is acting as resistance, right? So I'd be curious to know if they're going to do that again. Are they going to use that as resistance again here? Let's see, is there... What is this? 630. All right, they both ran out 630. I'd be curious to know if they're using that as resistance again, is what I have to say about that. Right, was this another bearish change in the state of delivery here? At the important level of the new week opening gap? Right, so this is probably the analysis that I would move forward with today on gold. This is the line in the sand right here. The change in the state of delivery. If we were getting rejected by the new week opening gap again, this would be the shift in market structure that sends us lower, right? So my eyes would be right here, and this would be my line in the sand. If we get rejected, it doesn't have to be exactly at the line that we get rejected. If we get rejected anywhere in here, I would look for bearish continuation. We would need to go and decisively claim this, retest it to think that I'm bullish. Right? So my first thought is look for bearish continuation, look for a rejection from the change in the state of delivery. That's what I would be looking for today. What would help me understand that I'm wrong in terms of the bearish bias is if price displaced right through that bearish change in the state of delivery and then retested it and found support at it to then continue higher. These things would have to occur first for me to know that my bearish bias is wrong. And what I would be looking at for the bears is any type of rejection anywhere near this change in the state of delivery. That's my take on gold. All right, so I don't really need to go over silver because silver is the same thing. Give me 2 seconds, chat. Somebody is contacting me. Let's take a look at this. All righty. All right. All right. All right, that is gold. Let's see where I left off here. Ash, as there's already bodies in the NQ new week opening gap, would price react off the part that's remaining? Telling price what to do is always very low probability, right? So this is what you're asking here is, since there's bodies within the new week opening gap, that you're requesting that price reacts to this location, the only location that doesn't have bodies. Well, let me tell you this. Requesting something so specific from price is going to be very low probability. Additionally, trying to predict the future is also very low probability. We have no clue if price is going to react to the entire new week opening gap, which would be this here, or if it's going to react to only the upper portion of the new week opening gap. We cannot tell price what to do. We can only efficiently react to it. So that's what I have to say about that. Would price react off the part that's remaining? I don't know. Nobody does. If anybody had a crystal ball, then please let me know because I would like to start using that. Fact of the matter is price can and will do whatever it wants to, whenever it wants to. What we can do is point to these areas and efficiently react to price, right? We don't know if it's going to react off of the remaining amount. We need to sit here and watch to see what type of price happens at that location, if price even goes to that location. New CME restrictions on market data access for certain countries on Friday and just announced. Yep. Let me take a look at that. Let me take a look at that. All right, let's see. Are those the different countries? Is that what I'm seeing here? New list of countries: Antarctica, Cayman Islands, Congo, France, Metropolitan, Guyana, Malta, Morocco. All those new countries. Maybe those are the restrictions for CME that you're referring to. Looks like there's some new restricted countries is what I'm finding. Hey, Ash, if you don't find a POI on the 1 hour or the 15 minute, what do you see instead of that? I look for higher time frame key levels. I look for them on the hourly or the 15 minute. If there is none, then it makes me less interested in taking a trade. What is your suggestion on managing the intraday trailing drawdown? Some firms have, don't use those firms. Okay, intraday unrealized trailing drawdown is the fakest that trading can get. That's what I have to say about that. Open a cash account and tell me if you ever come across the experience of using an intraday unrealized trailing drawdown. You won't, because that's not a real thing. Only certain firms use that because it's very predatory. It's just a way to make you fail your accounts. It's very unrealistic. Ash, what do you journal after a loss? Reason for a loss, if you followed your rules, if there's any reason you could have avoided this, all of those things are good things to journal, right? The reason how or why you took the trade, what you were thinking during the trade, what the trade might have missed compared to other trades. What did you do differently in this trade compared to other trades? Those are all things to consider for that type of documentation, right? Like for example, right? You take a losing trade. After you take the losing trade, when you're journaling, you realize that there was no SMT, right? You found you were executing during New York Open. Okay, that's fine. You executed your bias. Okay, good. That's fine. You executed from a key level. Okay, good. That's fine. There was no SMT at that key level. You need to document that because that means that you skipped out on one of your criterias. So, yes, I would document all of those questions. MFF has trailing DD. There's a difference from end of day trailing DD and intraday unrealized trailing DD. Those are two completely separate concepts. Okay, end of day is normal and fine. Intraday unrealized, not okay. Hi, Ash. I was wondering, why are you looking at longs on NQ when ES is the stronger pair? This is not a trade. Look, I'm currently in my account right here. Right, you could see the price fluctuating. You would be able to see my P&L going up and down if I'm actually in a trade. You'd see it on the screen. Right, so this was information that I was looking at while analyzing my bias. It is very clear that we were in a downtrend, right? Price was moving lower, right? Here's your downtrend until we broke that trend right here, right? That also showed a very clear breaker block with an FVG. So we are simply analyzing it. We're obtaining information to get on the right side of the market, right? When there's a trade on, you'll see the P&L fluctuating. When there is not a trade on, that is me analyzing and preparing myself for today. That is me getting ready to take a trade. It's me doing my due diligence. So that's what you're looking at here. It looks like we were moving lower until this point in time. We broke the trend. We then retested the area that we broke out from, and we started heading higher. Okay, that's why we're looking at that. I'm being objective to the information. We were going down at this point in time. Now we're going up during the current moment in time. Right, so I'm getting on sides with price. I'm doing my due diligence and preparing for New York Open. It's not a matter of looking at the stronger pair or the weaker pair. I'm just sitting here getting prepared for New York Open. I'm analyzing. At 8:30, ES went below the 8 a.m. candle by 1 tick. NQ remained above by 2 ticks. Would this be SMT? Let me take a look. All right, let me take a look. We have 8:30 a.m. ES went below 8 a.m. candle. So it sounds like we're talking about an hourly chart. (8 a.m.) 8 a.m. swept 7 a.m. into a fair value gap. Very nice job, Bob. Very nice job, Bob. Very nice. NQ did not sweep the 7 a.m. hourly candle low. ES did sweep the 7 a.m. hourly candle low. This is an example of bullish SMT. Okay? It's an example of bullish SMT at a location of a bullish FEG. This is the conversation that I'm always looking to have right here. Key level, right? Hourly key level. What happens at the hourly key level? We get bullish SMT. Okay, if that's the case, then I would go down to a lower time frame and look for an entry function, right? That's where I'd look for an entry function. That is bullish SMT at an hourly key level. Very good job, Bob. I agree with what you have there. Very good job. Makes sense for why it's going higher, right? We ran into a bullish key level, right? And if you want to pair that with the 5-minute, right, there's the breaker on the 5-minute. This is an example of a continuation breaker versus a reversal breaker, right? It's a continuation because we have been heading higher this entire time, so we're continuing the trend, right? This would be a reversal down here. This would be a continuation up here. So very good job, Bob. Hourly key level, hourly SMT, 5-minute breaker. Very good job. Hi, Ash. I am new on this channel. Could you recommend where a newbie should start learning to be able to follow your stream? Just show up to the streams. Right? We're going live throughout the week. We talk about the entire model. You get to watch my game plan every single day. You get to, watch me execute the game plan. You could just show up and watch. Yeah, once again, for anybody questioning the intraday trailing drawdown, my response still remains the same. Don't use accounts that have intraday trailing drawdown. Right? If you're, excuse me, let me repeat that. Do not use accounts that have intraday unrealized trailing drawdown. I don't care what firm you're talking about. Any firm, any account, unrealized intraday trailing drawdown is not a good option, plain and simple. End of day trailing drawdown is what we want. That's what matters. I don't care what firm you're talking about. Any firm, any account, intraday unrealized trailing drawdown is not my option. I'm not choosing that one. Hey, Ash, I've noticed SMT is now a requirement to your model, whereas in the past it was a beneficial extra. Is this due to you having more conviction with it / a better edge? No, I just want to be very clear about this. It's still the same as before. Nothing has changed. My model always had a key level with SMT. It still has a key level with SMT. Hear me clearly. I'm human, right? So I make mistakes. There are times where I mess up. There are times where I don't follow the rules. There are times where I've taken trades with SMT. There have been times where I've taken trades without SMT. So maybe that's the difference. I've always wanted SMT. I still want SMT. Every time I've ever talked about SMT, I've always mentioned how it is a confluence to an already existing idea. It gives conviction to an idea. It was that way before. It's that way now. But you have to hear me clearly. I'm human and I make mistakes. So yes, there has been times where I've taken trades without SMT. I would write that down as an error, right? I would still rather prefer to have SMT. So whether I've taken a trade with SMT or I've missed a trade, right, it still remains the same. I want SMT. The times that I don't have SMT, that is something that I'm documenting. So it's always had SMT. Waiting for market open? Yes. Yes, I am waiting for market open. I like to participate between 9:30 to 11:30. So we get on here early so that we can get our weekly outlook completed. We can get through the economic calendar. We can make sure that we understand the important times. We can create a bias and a game plan heading into the session. We do all of our due diligence heading up to 9:30, and we look to execute the game plan at New York Open. Yep. End of day is best. Yes. Again, I'll say it again clearly. Doesn't matter what firm. Okay? Any type of account, I'm looking for end of day, not intraday unrealized trailing drawdown. Doesn't matter which firm you're talking about. Ash, if you got two pairs, why would you find entry on weaker pair? Well, if you're looking to short, you want to short the weaker pair. If you're looking to long, you want to long the stronger pair. That's how I use SMT. There's news at 10 a.m., by the way. Yes, very good job bringing that up, Juna. We did also cover that here when we went over the economic calendar. Thank you for bringing that to everybody's attention. We do need to be aware that 10 a.m. has a news driver. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. What do we got here? Ash, I seem to pass evals, but on the funded, I feel very scared and end up blowing the account. Any tips to overcome that? Go lower size. Right? If you're still having emotional deterrences, then go lower size, giving yourself a chance to stay in that account longer. Right? Instead of losing 10 points on one contract of NQ, right, $200, why don't you lose 10 points on one contract of MNQ? Right? If you don't have the confidence to be in a funded account, then you need to go to lower size so that you can deal with the amount of time it'll take for you to gain that confidence. If you instantly blow up because you're too large of size, you're not giving yourself enough time inside of the funded account to gain more conviction. So go lower size, right? And that goes for eval or funded. Anytime you feel like the number that's fluctuating on the screen is changing the way that you act, think, or execute, you're too large of size and you need to go to a lower size so that you can focus on the execution instead of the dollar amount. Okay? Be objective to your plan. Do not allow emotions to deter you from that. Okay? Go lower size. 10 a.m. red folder. Yes, sir, AO. Yes, sir. Ash, why do you trade on news days? I've traded on both days. No news, red folder news. I've traded on both. So I want volatility though, right? Like for my P&L to fluctuate, we need price to go up and down, right? So we want volatility. We welcome volatility. That's why we want to participate on red folder news days. Yeah, give yourself more time in that account, Karen Deep. And additionally, that's going to help your expenses, right? Like the name of the game is keeping your expenses down while increasing your income. The way that you do that is by staying in the account, right? If you have to pay for less evals, then it'll take a lower amount of payout to become profitable. You're not profitable when you have a winning trade. You're not profitable when you have a winning strategy. You are profitable when your expenses are less than your income, right? So let's write this out real quick. Like this is profitability here. You purchase an eval for, let's just say $100, right? You become profitable when you get a payout of anything greater than $100, right? This is when you become profitable, during payouts. Okay, not right here. This is profitability right here when we're talking about income versus expenses, not about some kind of strategy, right? I don't care about a back test. I don't care if you took a winning trade. What I care about is the fact that you are extracting money from the market and you're extracting more money than you're putting into the market. That's what profitability is, right? Now let me also change the conversation. It doesn't matter if you're making tens of thousands of dollars in payouts if you're spending more than the amount of your payouts, right? So if you make a $10,000 withdrawal, but you've spent $20,000 on evals, you're net negative. Again, showing you the other side of the coin. It doesn't matter about your trading system. It doesn't matter about one single trade. It doesn't matter about a back test. It doesn't even matter about payouts. What does matter is your expenses to your income. Your income needs to be greater than your expenses. Whether you're talking about a $1,000 payout, a $10,000 payout, a $100,000 payout, your expenses need to be less than your payouts. You do that by staying in your account. And that's why I'm bringing it up, because Karen Deep is talking about blowing funded accounts, right? If you stay in that funded account, then you're not purchasing other evals, which allows you to keep your expenses down, which is giving you a better chance at whenever you get to that payout being larger than your expenses, right? Like, for example, if you've gone through hundreds of evals, right, and you finally achieve your first payout, you're still net negative. So that payout doesn't mean anything, right? If you've spent $10,000 on evals and you've only received one $1,000 payout, you're still net negative. That doesn't make you profitable because you hit a payout. Profitability is when your expenses are less than your income. Okay? You do that by staying in the account. Stop blowing accounts. New York Open's coming up here, so let's get prepared. Let's see what we got for today. Divide the drawdown by 10, like Matt suggests. That fixed my trading. I got approved from Apex this morning. W. A-O. W. Let's go. Let's go. Chat. Throw a bunch of W's in chat for AO. First of all, getting a payout, that's massive. Second of all, getting a payout from Apex, the one that's a little harder on approvals and whatnot, got approved this morning. Let's go, AO. Massive W. Congratulations. Congratulations. I'm very happy to hear that. Listen. Don't let that cause a bunch of overconfidence, though. Just because you did it once doesn't mean you go and completely ruin the system now. Okay? Right back to being objective. Right back to being process-driven. Focus up so we can get to that next payout. Very good job, though. Oh, and would you look at that? I think this might have even just been a confirmation to the conversation we were just having. AO is saying that he got approved on his payout, and the way that he did that was staying within the account. It took over a month, but he stayed in the account, and it was done by using micros, going lower size to stay in the account, giving you a better chance at a payout. And look at what happened. Let's go, AO. Congratulations. Congratulations. Very good job. All right, they are sprinting off the open here. Wow. They are just running it higher. Are they going to close up that gap? Remember that gap that we talked about? Remember we were analyzing the new week opening gap? Right? Are they closing it up here? Let's see. Now that London long looking real nice. All right. Let me hear it from you all as well. Now that New York is open, what are you guys expecting today? Throw a 1 in chat if you're bullish for the session. Throw a 2 in chat if you're bearish for the session. What are you guys looking for today? One for the Bulls, 2 for the Bears. What are you guys looking for today? What a move there off the open. It's like the Bulls are coming out. What a move. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Seeing that you've been in the MFF account for months inspired me. Listen, you gotta learn to survive. And that's the entire reason behind that account. Like the logic that I'm pointing to here, this is the type of results that come from it. I've been in the live account. I believe it's near 300 days at this point. I've seen nearly 20 payouts from it. That's from everything that we're talking about here, right? Like setting limitations, dividing your drawdown so that you know how much you should be willing to trade, measuring out your risk, right? And having reasons and justifications to how or why you do things, right? everything is calculated here. We're not the one that's doing like the entertainment, the euphoria, the impulsiveness. I'm not going to be the individual that's hopping into trades at 9:30 a.m. just because, right? Like I'm not smashing the buy button because everybody's super hyped up. That's not me. That is not how I've traded, and that's the reason why I'm still in the live account. I'm still in that account. We had a payout last week from it. So it's still seeing payouts. It's still the same account. It's like I started it in, what was it? May of last year. I believe right around my birthday is when I started it. So that's what, 8 or 9 months? Like, man, lower the expenses, increase the income. That's the name of the game for me. Whether that's what other people are doing or not, it's completely okay, but that's how I approach the market. That is how I approach the market. Remember the 10 a.m. news driver coming up? Need to be aware of that. What a move for the Bulls to start the day. What a move. What a move, chat. The Bulls are out. Ash, can you talk to MFF and increase the inactivity rule to 30 days instead of 7 days? Yeah, if I had any control over what they do over there, that would be a great idea. But I'm just a normal trader, just like everybody else here. I'm just a individual, you know. I'm not. I understand that I'm on My Funded Futures YouTube live stream, but I have no control over their decisions or what they do with their accounts or their rules. Or I'm a trader. I was brought onto their live stream because of my trading. I wasn't like a part of their business. I mean, sure, I guess I could try to ask and see what they do, but I have no control over that. Ash, have you ever traded London session on NQ? When I went to London, I traded London session just for the sake of I'm in London, so I needed to experience it. Other than that, I'm on the East Coast of the US, so I'm normally sleeping at that time. This is incredible. I mean, go figure they use the unicorn as the reversal. Go figure they set the low of the day there in London. This is gorgeous. I will be posting this one for a reference. This is gorgeous. Yes, you can trade the exact same model at London or Asia. The purpose is to be focused on the opening times. So whatever works best for your day-to-day life, whether that's Asia open, London open, either one of those work, and the model remains the exact same. All right. I need to post this because this was gorgeous. This was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, give me a second. I'm putting that one on my Twitter. That was just beautiful. That was previous week low too, wasn't it? Yeah, previous week low. Very nice. Closing up that gap. Very nice. That was gorgeous. As you draw the long position, I captured 300 points in MNQ from London session. Let's go. 300 points. Wow. Wow. Congratulations. Cool wick. Very good job. Very, very good job. If I had put my life savings on this trade, I'd be sipping coffee next to Elon. Wow. Okay. I will never be putting my life savings on anything. That seems quite risky. So I don't really want to be sitting next to Elon that bad. But wow. That's a risky one. I'm going to throw this in the Discord as well. Give me a second. Gorgeous move. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, chat, do me a favor. If you're finding any value from any of the biases, any of the trades that we talk about, any of the giveaways that we're doing, do me a favor, like the video, sub to the channel. We're going to continue to keep doing this throughout the year. We plan on going live each week. We do have stuff in March and May that we might miss a couple days for. Nate is getting married this year, so we will have a couple days off in March and May. Other than that, we're going to be looking to go live every single chance we can get. We're going to look to give out as many accounts as we can. If you guys want a chance at that, you know, follow along, because we'll be doing that throughout the entire year. So now, how are we going to get into this thing? Chat, how would you approach this market? Seeing that the market just ripped higher there off the open, what would you be looking for to get into any positions? Let's see what you guys are thinking, and then I'll go over what I'll be looking for this session. Tell me how you'd get into this market. Are you looking at longs? Are you looking at shorts? And how would you do it? Give you guys a second to respond first, and then I'll go over what I'll be looking at for today's session. How do you know Nate? Me and White Chocolate, his real name is Nate. We met in college. So the very first time that I went away to college, he was my roommate. We've been friends ever since. So we've been friends for, I think it's been about a decade now, maybe a little bit longer than a decade. We went to college together and then started a business together. I'm actually going to be his best man in his wedding. So that is why those are the days I'm going to need to take off. Being patient, looking for longs to previous day high, sitting on my hands, looking for previous day high. Been waiting for a pullback or a long continuation signature. Staying off US indices, looking for longs from the 15-minute FVG. All right, so here's the first 15 minutes of the market open. I will be looking at the opening range. Okay, I want to see a move into equilibrium of the opening range. So let's go like this. Let's go back out here real quick. Go like this so you can see this as well. Okay. So this is something that I would look at for today. Let me just get those lines off and we'll keep this one here. What's going on here? There we go. All right, so something like this. I would like to see a move into the initial balance. So like this, get ready. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I'll be looking at for today. Let's go like this, right? So the 15-minute gap will be the key level, right? To get them to come into the gap. Get them to come into the gap. Create SMT in the gap. Once that occurs, then look for a change in the state of delivery for a continuation long. Okay, so come into the gap, SMT within the gap, look for a change in the state of delivery, look for the continuation long. That is what I'll be looking at here today. All right, so let's see if they want to pull back. When they pull back, look for SMT and a change in the state of delivery. I don't want to be longing from the highs here. Additionally, we got about 12 minutes or 11 minutes until the news driver. So I also want to see the news driver. Okay, so preparing for the trade that we're looking for, game planning, understanding the information. Now that it looks like we may have gotten a direction for the day, right? If they're heading higher for the day and they're breaking out of the opening range to the top, right? Even if they go like this, I would still look for this as well. Right? Get rid of this arrow real quick. Hold on. Right, they head a little bit higher and then retrace back into the opening range. The idea is the opening range here. It doesn't matter where it goes from here. The idea would be I want a pullback into this key level here. This will be the key level. All right, it's fine that they head higher now, but I would then look for the same exact thing. Pull back into the key level, create the SMT, then a change in the state of delivery, then catch the continuation long. I don't want to be longing from the top of the range. So if they just leave without me, so be it. That's completely fine. I'd rather be more focused on my process than the outcome, right? If they just scream higher here, right? They don't turn around at all. They just continue to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I'll stay on the sidelines if that occurs. Right? What I would want to see is a pullback, entry function created, entry, continuation long. Am I the only one finding out the reversal marking unbelievable? Ash starts at the end with the arrow. Yeah. That's because I know that the arrow comes first. Here, let's put the arrow on there again real quick. I know I'm doing it backwards. It's not some it's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me. Right? Because if I went like this, look at where the arrow is. So I have to do it backwards, right? Like if I want a pullback, I got to start at the end. See, now the arrow's over there. That's funny that you mentioned that. Do you really want it to hit the middle of the FVG? Or is that tap enough? Then entry, of course. I do not force things to do things, right? So here's the FVG that I pointed to. Whether it only taps this much of the FVG, that's fine. Or if it taps midpoint of the FVG, it's fine. Or if it taps the bottom of the FVG, it's fine. I don't force price to do things. I create a game plan, then I efficiently react to it. The game plan that I'm looking for is a pullback into anywhere in this gap. A pullback into this gap. And when we pull back into this gap, I want to see SMT form there and then an entry function. I'm not saying, oh, it didn't pull into 50%, so I'm not going to take the long. Right? If it only pulled into the top and then went, that's fine. I don't force price to do something so specific that I'll never get a trade. The idea is the gap. If we tap the gap, I want to see SMT. If those two things occur, then I would go down to a lower time frame to find this entry function. Okay? That's my game plan for today. Right there. What a move so far. The bulls are out. Go figure they used the breaker plus the FVG as the reversal. Go figure. This is also starting to look like the hourly change in the state of delivery here too. Wonder if that's the 4 hour as well. Yep. So this gap was the thing that gave it away. Right? 4 hour change in the state of delivery. You got news coming up here in 5 minutes, so be aware of that. Caught 20 points with 2 to 3 cons and let the runner go for 70 points. Wow. If those were on NQ, congratulations. Wow. Amazing job. I mean, doesn't matter what it was on. If you're green, phenomenal job. Congratulations. Very, very good job. If you're green on the day, it's time to stay green. Ash, how do you deal with FOMO when we have big moves like this? Detach your emotions from the outcome, right? Plain and simple. You should not be executing your emotions. You should be executing your process. Okay? Anytime you feel that you're making decisions based upon your emotions, that's when you know you're doing something outside of your process, right? You should be so process driven that it's muscle memory, right? For example, you're asking me, how do I stay patient during the time of? Well, if you ask me, this has not happened during New York Open, right here, right? What has not happened during New York Open is a breaker plus a fair value gap. So if I were to execute anything other than that, then I'm not following my plan and I'm making decisions based upon thoughts or feelings. It's plain and simple. Stop executing your emotions. Right? Put a checklist on your desk. If you don't check off each one of your criteria, then you know there's no trade to take. Right? That's being process driven. If you cannot complete your process, then you know there's no trade to take. It has nothing to do with emotions. That's what's going on here. I don't see a breaker plus a fair value gap during New York Open here. So I know there's no trade to take because that's the execution that I execute. I execute a breaker plus a fair value gap. That's not on the screen. So it's very clear as day to me. There's no risk to take here. I don't care that price is going higher. I'm not results driven. What if data brings it back? I think you're referring to the news that's about to happen. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Right? I quite literally put this on the screen for a reason. You just heard me say about 5 minutes ago that I'm waiting for a move back into this gap. Right? So if data brings it back, that is what I am looking for. I want price to tap into this gap. Then I want to see SMT in this gap. If that occurs, then I'll look for my entry function, right? Whether that happens during news or after news or before news, that's what I'm looking for. Do you think the daily bearish SMT has done its work? We definitely got that move lower. If this is what you're referring to. Right, the ES took out new all-time highs. NQ did not. Bearish SMT. Look at the move lower. We did get that move lower already. You're talking about how much range is that? That's a lot. 1,100 points. Yeah, that bearish SMT definitely made a move already. Yes, that bearish SMT did play out. After that occurred, you got a 1,100 point move lower. So yeah, I definitely think that played out. All right, let's see that move lower into the gap. Let's look for SMT at that location, right? Like it would be nice to see. ES sweeps the previous 15-minute candle low while NQ does not into the gap, creating an entry function. Let's see what happens here at the news. Go ahead and take out the previous 15-minute candle low into the gap. Do us all the favor. Create some SMT at that location. Then give us an entry function. Go ahead, ES. Tap into that gap for us. Maybe NQ did. Nope. Tap into that gap, yes. Come on, go ahead now. Tap into the gap. Show us some SMT. Then show us the change in the state of delivery. One move lower into the gap. Too strong, huh? Not going to get the tap. Too strong today. After how much time will you stop looking? My session is between 9:30 to 11:30. So in about 10 minutes here, I'm going to take a quick break. That way I can go get a snack. I have a 10:30 live stream over on My Funded Futures YouTube channel as well. We'll continue to keep searching over there for another hour. But once 11:30 hits, I'm done for the day. So far, price is just screaming higher this morning. We almost got our game plan, but they just barely left us out there. So we have not taken a trade this morning. The entire game plan this morning was to analyze the new day opening gap. That new day opening gap did not show any form of resistance, right? So The entire question that we had for our bias this morning was answered. It went right through the new day opening gap. That shows you why we're looking for longs. The way that I'm looking for longs is I wanted price to tap into a key level. That key level being the 15-minute fair value gap right here. That hasn't happened. Price decided to continue to keep moving higher. Therefore, no trade has been taken. So notice what's happening here. I'm more interested in carrying out my game plan than I am impulsively entering this thing. I told you what I was looking for. We got the information on the bias in terms of the new day opening gap getting claimed, right? It did not act as resistance. So it's very simple support and resistance analysis, right? If this is not going to be resistance, then we're breaking out, right? And we're heading higher to a new target. And that's what happened here. We did not get rejected. It decisively broke resistance, and it's so decisive that it just keeps heading higher instead of giving us a chance at a pullback to then head higher. So this question was answered right here. This did not act as resistance. Therefore, we started looking for longs. To look for longs, we looked for a key level at New York Open, which is, right, if I'm bullish, I want to be longing from bullish fair value gaps or swing lows. So we started analyzing a bullish fair value gap on the 15-minute time frame. I was waiting for news because I wanted to take a position after the news driver occurred. I wanted the news to tap into the gap, showing us some SMT at the key level to then look for bullish continuation. We came very close. ES almost gave us that SMT there, but it didn't. So you're seeing the fact that I'm choosing my process over the outcome. I don't care that we were able to create a game plan and prices adhering to my game plan. I don't need to make money, right? What I need to do is follow my game plan. Okay? I'm not results driven. I'm process driven. We created a game plan. We analyzed it efficiently here. It did not adhere to my game plan, so I did not make or lose money. Right? So do you see the process that's happening here? This is going to happen day in and day out. This is what day trading is. Showing up, creating a game plan, efficiently acting during the time of, being capable of identifying the information and efficiently using that information. And then if you can do that, measuring your risk, accepting the risk, and carrying out your game plan. Right? We were able to create a game plan. We were able to efficiently identify the price movement. We then tried acting upon it. That's where it did not give us the information we were looking for, so no risk was taken. That's what I have for this morning, right? Not every day is going to be a trading day. Today was one of those examples. We created a game plan. We efficiently analyzed it. The game plan did play out. We just didn't get any executions because there was no entry function. There was no SMT. So here we are. No risk taken. I love to see that the bulls went higher, right? We'll see if they could run higher to, where's previous day high at? Let's see. So previous day high is a bit higher up here. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's see if previous day high can be the overall target. This is what we'll be aiming at for the rest of the day. But without price tapping into a key level, without price showing SMT at a key level, there won't be any executions. There hasn't been yet. There still can be. We still have another hour, but we've identified the information that we're looking for. Now it's a matter of efficiently reacting. So I'm going to continue to keep waiting. All right. The thing that I'll be waiting for is price to tap a key level, right? Either a 15-minute FEG or a swing low. At that key level, I'll be looking for SMT. If those things occur, then I'll look for continuation for the bulls. All right. If those things don't occur, then I'll be in the same situation I am now. No risk, no trade. I'll remain on the sidelines, and we'll keep being patient and waiting. So now that you understand what I'm looking at, understand how I'm moving forward today, do me a favor. First, like the video, sub to the channel, turn the notifications on because we're going to continue to keep going live. Second, I have a giveaway going on over here. So if you want to enter the giveaway, go over to my Twitter account. Make sure you enter the giveaway on this tweet right here. Third, I will be going live in another 20 minutes on My Funded Futures YouTube channel. So please follow me over there. Let's get another live stream done. We have one more hour between 10:30 and 11:30 over on the My Funded Futures channel. I just need to go grab a quick snack. That way I can be prepared for that hour as well. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the live stream. Do me a favor, follow me over to that next live stream so that we can finish this conversation for today. Thank you everybody for your time. Another amazing morning. Great way to start the week. I hope everybody had a phenomenal weekend. I hope everybody's Monday is going well. Let's make sure that we crush this week, we follow our plan, that we have discipline, we have patience, and we find some consistency in being process-driven. Thank you all for your time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream, and I'll see you all in another 20 minutes over on the My Funded Futures YouTube live stream. Thank you for your time today. I hope everybody has a great day.